Welcome to Aussie Afterlife podcast. This episode, well, all the other episodes and anything I've possibly said ever contains explicit language, so not for younger listeners, unless you're an actual cool parent, or for those without a sense of humour. So remember to grab your headphones for the paranormal investigation episodes. And you also get to listen to my voice super close to your ear. So that could be good or bad or both. I don't really know, but anyway. But what I want you to do is grab a drink, relax, and enjoy. And come into my version of the afterlife. Could be heaven, hell, purgatory. It's probably hell, but what of it? Enjoy.
Well, welcome back to Aussie Afterlife. This is episode 58 and part 2 of Aradale Revisited. So the last episode, we finished off in the women's ward for now. I'm pretty sure we go back. I don't know. As I said, I haven't really reviewed it, so who knows what the fuck's going to happen. But anyway, so we're going to pick this episode off straight up, really raw dogging this investigation, just going in really raw, dry as all hell straight into the staff quarters, which is notoriously the most haunted building in all of Aradale. And I won't say why. Go on the tour, you'll find out why. That this is why they think it was the most haunted building anyway. There's a whole different theory and all this sort of stuff. Go on their tour. Eerie tours are amazing. Please do the paranormal investigation or even a ghost. Just go there. It's amazing. You will not regret anything whatsoever. But so the staff quarters is a 3-story building. I know there's something like 60 something rooms. Every single time I go there is something completely different that I experience. Sometimes the top floor is the most wild, middle floor, blah, blah, blah. This particular investigation I did, the middle floor I found was way more, had a bit of something, a bit extra, than the other ones. But yeah, maybe it was because there wasn't a massive group just like in the middle of the building. So anyway, go on the tour. Trust me, you won't regret it. But yeah, so I can't wait to kick it off. There were some really cool EVPs in the last one. There's going to be some amazing ones in this one. Of course, it's Aradale. What do you expect, really? And like a lot of the times where you go to Aradale, it's just what you feel and the different sensations, and it's different every single time, which keeps a bit fresh, The spirits like to keep a bit fresh, a bit exciting, which I'm like, you don't want no stale kind of spirits or stale kind of happenings, It's like you need something a bit different. Anyway, talking about different. So I took my 2 children. Here we go. Here's the Sam monologue. I took my 2 kids on a holiday because that's all they wanted for Christmas. And I was like, what do you want for Christmas? And they're like, a holiday. And I'm like, what else do you want for Christmas? I'm like, what about a cat? We got the kitten anyway. If you guys are watching, you can see the little black one right behind me. So that was a gift from me to me. But so apparently that wasn't enough. So they're like, we want to go on a holiday. So I was like, okay, well, what can I do? Anyway, lo and behold, I was like, let's go back to Tassie. I love Tasmania. I'm not doing Queensland. I'd prefer to jump off the, for Tower of Terror, whatever. I'd prefer to jump off that than wait in the lines. I don't do queues well. I don't do waiting in queues well. I prefer just to watch and be like, yeah, I bet that would be great for 2 minutes and just not do it and be like, I feel satisfied. I never get regrets in that sort of way because I hate standing there waiting for things. So if you wait for shit, I feel like you always get this little bit of letdown. Even if it's great, you're just like, it's done now. Now what am I going to do with my life? I've waited for this for so long. Anyway, sorry, off topic. So we went to Tassie. So I was like, hang on, I've been to Tasmania quite a few times. I love it. It's my favourite place in Australia to go, really. It's amazing. I usually have historically taken the plane across and then hired a car. And I was looking at the prices and I'm like, oh, I could just take my own car in the spirit of Tasmania and back. And I was like, oh, that'd be a great experience for the kids. They'll just love it. Whatever. It'd be great. And so now the Spirit of Tasmania leaves from Geelong, which, I live near Ballarat, so super close, only an hour away. And then my son started with his whole, are you going to get up? And I'm like, what do you mean am I going to get up? And he's like, well, you like to sleep in. And I'm like, because I'm on holidays. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I get up for work every day. And he's like, yeah, but you're always a couple of minutes late to work. And I'm like, yeah, but I get there. I'm like, I'm not waiting on a ship to sail off. Like, the work's going to be there when I arrive, like it's like my mental health unit's not going to sail away into the abyss if I don't rock up most of the time. So it's like, so anyway, it gets this, I'm like, mate, I love my neurodivergent child, but like, I'm like, darling, I'm going to be getting up with bells on. I've paid a fortune. I'm getting up. I said, darling, I'm only sleeping in because your mother is part sloth. And this is the only time in my holidays that I'm actually allowed to just, sleep, whatever. Anyway, so I felt really judged. So I was like, oh, whatever. But then I can kind of understand because I do like to sleep in. Like, I've been like sleeping in like crazy. Like, it's been like 12 o'clock and the kids are just like, well, they're just as bad. They're just like sleeping with me. I was like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, so I was like, look, I know what I'll do. I don't really feel like, and then I like did the calculations of actually how early I had to get up to make the Spirit of Tasmania at 8:30 in the morning. And I was like, fuck that. I'm like, who booked this? Sam? Yes. So anyway, so I was like, oh, look, I'll book somewhere cheap to go to in Geelong. So we only have to drive, 10 or so minutes to get to the Spirit of Tasmania. So I do this thinking I'm like, oh, I'm the best mum ever. Like, I've got everything packed. We're all good to go. We're all, we got basically like an extra night away. We get there. And then we sort of roll into this place, which I won't say. And I was like, oh, yeah, typical kind of like motor in kind of vibe. Anyway, my son, who's 13, gets there and he's like, are we going to get murdered tonight? And I'm like, what do you mean fucking murdered? What are you talking about? And he's like, this place looks like we're going to get murdered. And I said, will you just stop complaining? We've been away for like an hour. So anyway, so I go in and get the keys and stuff. And he's just like, he's like, see, Eden, see that pool over there? That's how you get tapeworms. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how do you even know what tapeworms are? And he's like, I watched a YouTube channel and tapeworms can crawl up your dick. And I'm like, Mason, I'm like, stop it. And Eden's just like, laughing and stuff. And I'm just like, can we just get into the room? So we get to the room. We go in there and he's like, why does it smell like lotion? And I'm like, it doesn't smell like lotion, Mason. It just smells like they've cleaned it. And he's like, nah, it smells like lotion. He's like, this place is for something else. He's like, this place is for pleasure. Not for staying. He's like, Mum, you've taken it. And I'm just like, Mason, stop it. Anyway, so like I'm standing there trying not to laugh because I'm just like, look, can we just not and say that we did and just enjoy this sort of stuff. But recently the little fucker had found Yelp reviews, which we had previously engaged also in laughing at. So he's just like checking out Yelp to see if there was any Yelp reviews for this particular hotel. I'll get to that. But anyway, so I'm like, look, I don't care. We've got here now. I'm going to have a shower. So I go in there, have a shower, get ready. By the time I come out, I walk out to find this lovely lady of Indian descent looking at me saying, is there everything okay, ma'am? And I'm like, pardon? Sorry, who are you? And she's like, I'm the lady from the front counter. I'm like, your son had rang up saying that this place smells like lotion. And I'm like, he did what now? And I looked at him and he's just like, and I'm like, don't. As I said, I'm so sorry. She's like, if you look under the sink, there's some air freshener and maybe just open a window. So she was not having a bar of like any kind of like, can we change rooms kind of thing, which my son had also chosen to request. Anyway, so after she leaves and I'm like, thank you so much. I'm so sorry for the trouble. She's like, no, that's fine. And I'm just like, Anyway, that's number one. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's fun, whatever, fun on a holiday. Yep, just ringing the lady, getting her up here. And I'm thinking, I did a lot worse as a kid, so I can kind of understand the humour behind it because I would have been all over that. But me and my mate Hass, like we would have been like all over that as a kid. We would have been like, what can we do to like just interrupt everyone's day? So I sit there anyway, we're watching some TV and then I get an airdrop. And I was like, oh, airdrop from Mace, what's this? I look at it. He's airdropped his Yelp review on the hotel. And his review, actually, hang on, let's see if I can find it without being too, I'm so sorry, I should have had this already up before. But he has written about this Yelp review about this, little motel thing that I booked, trying to do the right thing, clearly being a bad mother. Ha 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 ha. Not really. But, oh my God, I can't find it. I'll find it. Anyway, Tassie was awesome. Just wait 1 minute. I'll find it. I'm just adding in background music. Where is a Yelp review? I laughed so much. Where is it? My son is exactly like me. Oh, here we go. So here's a Yelp review that my son had left. Mind you, he's 13. This room smells like lotion. If you get room 50, get another room. This is a hookup room. Be careful. I'm scared and I want to go home. Thanks, Mace. Anyway, God love you. Anyway, holidaying with kids, but yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun. As like after that, we ended up just like watching TV, and they both wanted to watch The Conjuring, so we did that. That was great. And then Mason was so stressed that I wouldn't wake up that he kept us all up till about 3 a.m. and then I couldn't get him up. But we got there. We got the Spirit of Tasmania. Now, our trip on the way back with this was a lot better. The way down. On the way up there, the seas were extra crazy, my friends. I don't get seasick. So I had the time of my life. Like, I was having a couple of gins. I was on the back of the boat, pretending I was on the Titanic. It's like, da-da-da kind of thing. And I'm just like, woohoo, because the waves were like, it was crashing it out there. I was just like, yeehaw. Like I was literally living my best life. I love the ocean. I was loving it. Like I was riding it like far lap. Like I was just like, yeehaw. Like I loved it. Anyway, my daughter's in there somewhere wanting to spew. Mason's in there just like, this is the most fucking shit thing ever. And I'm just like, you two just shush and come out here and get some fresh air. But anyway, so the whole boat was depressed AF. Like I've never seen a more depressed scene in my life. Like people were like sick. They were like lying down. Everyone was like asleep. Everyone was grumpy. And I'm just like, what is wrong with everybody? And I'm just like, woohoo, McGanna, G&T, please, thank you. And I'm like making friends with the bar staff. And I'm just like walking around like living my best life. Anyway, so I go into the toilet, right, the bathroom, one of the floors. And this poor old lady, I don't know how, she must have been, I don't know, she have to be in her 70s. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say the word old, but like this older lady, I should say, probably in her 70s. I walk in and I'm just like, you good? What are you doing? And she's got this straw and she's trying to shove her own vomit down the sink of the toilet in the boat. And I was like, do you need me to get like anyone for you? And she's like, no. I'm like, are you sure? Because this is like not, like you look really sick. And she's like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, do you not want me to go and get somebody? And she's like, no. So anyway, I'm like, okay. So I went and peed and came back out. And I'm like looking at her and she's still trying to like basically declog the sink with a straw. And I'm just like, Lee. It's giving like flashbacks of me being like massively hungover at 19. I'm like, I'll be back in a minute. So I went and got her like a glass of iced water and brought it back in. I'm like, is there anyone else? She's like, no, stop it. And I'm like, okay, bye. And kind of like left and then like alerted someone else. And I was like, you need to go. There's this woman in there. She looks like she's about ready to fucking die. And she told me basically to go after I gave her some ice water. Anyway, lo and behold, 10 minutes later, she comes wheeled out on a wheelchair. And I'm just like, didn't need me to get your husband now, did you? But anyway, poor woman. It was wild that day. Oh, it was wild. I loved it though. I love the sea. I'll be on it all the time. I was literally just like, yeehaw, like the winds were going. I've got videos of it. Like you can hear the wind going and I'm like, this is wild. Like the Bass Strait was off its tits. But yeah, anyway, that's probably enough of my monologue for now. Let's get into part 2 of Aradale Revisited. And here we are, first EVP of the staff quarters. Grab a drink, relax, and enjoy. And don't throw up in the sink. But if you do, grab a straw. Let's get it.
So, now we step beyond the vast wards and the echoing hallways of Victoria's most haunted institution, the Aradale Asylum in Ararat, Australia. But we're not going where the patients lived, ate, screamed, or even whispered, "No." Now we're going to a building that feels the darkest and the scariest of them all, the staff quarters. Here, behind the locked doors and the aging brick walls, so thick, the asylum's caretakers once tried to live ordinary lives amid the extraordinary darkness. Nurses, wardens, doctors, and attendants all called this place home. One of the floors even allowed larger rooms for families to reside. On shift, they worked among the patients, enforcing routines, handing out medicine, and keeping order. On their time off, well, would you ever feel like you had time off? Residing on the same grounds as you work? How much rest would the staff have actually had? Would they ever been able to disconnect properly? Or would they ever be looking out the windows wondering what some of their patients were doing or what was going on in the ward? What are they going to receive in handover in the next morning? Some say the staff quarters was built as a sanctuary, but the walls tell another story. This building is 3 stories tall, quite large and mirrored on each floor. The shared bathrooms remain on each side of the floors at the top of the stairs, so all the rooms were just single rooms with no separate en-suites. I like to think, like, how would they have organised, who's showering or when or all that sort of stuff? Because there was only, I think, the 2 showers or 1 or 2 showers on each end. But as I was investigating the bathrooms, I always find them really unnerving. I couldn't help but wonder what had occurred there. I'm not sure and I have no idea, and I don't want to be presumptuous, but I did feel distinct sadness and the feelings of tragedy. Like a lot of sadness, depression. Yeah, it's quite spine tingling and it makes you shudder. Especially as you experience the eerie silence as you walk alone on the 3 different floors, experiencing different sensations, different feelings each time. You always feel like someone is walking so close behind you. It makes you shudder and it makes you want to run. But when you turn around, there's no one there. You start to question your own sanity or wonder if this investigation is actually really starting to mess with you. If there are slight glimpses of light, say off a torch or a flashlight, you could swear you could see shadow figures popping their heads around the corner of the doorframe, simply watching and waiting and wondering when you're going to start walking down the corridor, see if you might face them. You can feel a slight feel of, a hand touching your hair or your ear, which I've experienced before, and the feelings of like cobwebs that just go past you. It sends shivers down your spine. It is so hard to describe. Each room tells a different story, a different doctor, a different nurse. And on the lighter side, who was having a bit of extra fun after dark? I cannot imagine that it would have all been bad or as bad as what people would have think. Like, at all. I don't believe that they would have worked there if they hated it or lived there. The staff would have developed friendships, relationships, secret relationships, maybe some sneaky drinks after shift. There was a whole community on top of that hill looking after the people that needed it most, the most vulnerable. I like to imagine that the majority of the staff took wonderful care of their patients with the best that they knew how to at the time. Life is about learning and evolving. And I feel as though in like 40 or something years or however long, I'll look back on the way that psychiatric nursing is done today and I'll be floored that we managed it so well or we did those practices. And I personally believe that we do a wonderful and very recovery orientated job, but I believe that these nurses and doctors back then thought they were doing the same thing. Better meds, better everything, better ways of doing stuff. Let's just keep learning. I hope you enjoy the EVPs that I'll play from the staff quarters. One of the most frightening, eerie, but exciting buildings to investigate in all of Aradale. Is there anyone here that would like to have a chat to us? I've got a cool little light you can touch to make it go a bit brighter for me. Or you can just come and talk near me. I thought I heard a little girl's voice before. feeling my energy being drained and my lower back's really sore, actually. Thought I heard a little girl's voice before. Actually feeling my energy being drained and my lower back's really sore, actually. Actually feeling my energy being drained and my lower... Actually feeling my energy. So that's a cute little one to get us started. So I was investigating the top floor of the nurses, or the staffing quarters, I should say, and myself and my friend that I was with at the time, we were up there by ourselves. So there was no one up there during this whole entire time I tried to do EVPs. I tried to get the most quietest spot, obviously, because I hate background noise because it can tarnish things, but it was just him and I up there. And I was like, I thought I heard a little girl's voice, because up there, and like this is also a really great place to get disembodied voices, where you think you can hear something from down the other end and you're like, hang on, did I hear that, or was that the group downstairs? But anyway, and then I get this cute little hum, like, and there was definitely no one around me or anywhere that was humming or singing. And because there's so many of my recordings too, like if I hear any bizarre background noise or if I hear anything like that, I will say it. So there was definitely no one singing, no one humming, and it's quite cute and very faint. But so if someone humming and there's no one on the whole entire floor, I don't know how I would have captured it on my audio. So I'll play it for you one more time and then we'll get to the next one. Actually feeling my energy being drained. Actually feeling my energy being drained. Yeah, stop taking my energy from my back, please. If you want energy, you can take it from that little light bulb. So that last EVP was one that I also captured in the staff quarters, and it's very faint, but you can hear kind of like a male saying, okay then, and then like a little hee, like there's little cheeky like little giggles afterwards, after I say, you know, please stop touching, whatever, that kind of thing. I'll play it for you one or two more times. It's not very loud, but please remember your headphones. As I always say, I can hear it a lot better on my headphones. So I'll play it for you two more times and we'll get to the next one. Yeah, I'm not touching you, so you don't touch me. That's all I'm talking. Okay, so that last one was, well, I'm clearly investigating with the Ghost Girls, which has Alana and Ash. They're the two key investigators in that. Amazing girls, as I've said before. Please follow, do everything. They're just so cool. I love them so much. But with this, I made a mention like, oh no, that's okay. Like, as I do in an EVP, like that's Alana and that's speaking in the background. So I say that and then I hear a, Alana. I was like, holy shit, I just sent it to her just before and I was like, that's crazy. I'll play it for a couple more times and we'll keep going. I always find it incredibly fascinating and a bit fucking creepy when you hear your name or you hear someone else's name. It's just like, how can you explain that? It was literally just me and my friend at the time. We were sitting there and there was nobody else there. Like there's no one whispering like in the background. Like I would have been like, shut the fuck up. You're tainting my shit. Like, you know. I'll play it a couple more times and we'll move on. I hope she likes it. God, you guys hear that? Oh. God, you guys hear that? Oh. God, you guys hear that? Oh. God, you guys hear that? Wasn't me. You messing with my shit? So me, my typical investigation style, I like to be a bit playful, never rude, but very playful. So those last two, the first one, I reckon that something was mimicking my voice because I was like, oh, and you hear a, oh, quit really quickly afterwards. And then in the next one, I was like, are you guys messing with my shit? And then you hear a, oh, and then it's like, I think they like to play with me just as much as I like to play with them. It's a bit fun. I always love to have a really playful attitude when I go and investigate. Give them something a bit different too, rather than the whole entire, as I say, when did you die? It's like you don't, no. It's like everyone can do their own thing, but I'm saying I like to be a bit playful and, speak to them as how I'd talk to anyone else. Like if anyone was messing around with my stuff, I'm like, what are you doing? Come around. What the hell? Like, what I mean? And I find it gets really cool reactions. So I'll play those for you again, probably a time each, and we'll move on to the next one. Oh, God, you guys hear that? Oh, God, you guys hear that? Is there anyone here that wants to have a chat with us? Feeling pretty heavy before. How are you feeling now?
Not too bad.
28. Room 28, getting a headache again.
Getting a sore back.
You're getting a sore back, like a low back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello. You there? Now, with that last longer clip, it wasn't the best to hear at all. Like, it's very muffled. I'm not trying to, but apparently my ears are supersonic. They've been cold recently, but I can hear multiple, like that kind of thing. And I think I hear a bit of a chuckle as well in the background. And again, it was just me and the person I was with at the time. So I'll play it for you one more time, but don't really try and strain your ears too much. But if you can hear stuff, then that's really cool. But I liked it because I could hear things that were not there in person. Like, the audio that I can hear and the little tiny idiosyncrasies and the tiny voices I can hear are never there in person, hence why I like to show you. And I think it's really important. I know you'd be like, what the hell is this woman on about? But I can hear it, so I'm hoping other people can. It takes a while to train your ears to do this as well, but it ain't just shuffling or it's not someone in the next room. It is voices that I cannot explain. So why not share them with you? So I'll play it for you one more time and we'll keep going. Is there anyone here that wants to have a chat with us? Feeling pretty heavy before. How are you feeling now?
Not too bad.
28. Room 28, getting a headache again.
Getting a sore back.
You're getting a sore back, like a low back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello. You there? Maybe they're touching my hair. I've done it again. Right. Stop itching me head. creepy. It's the face in the glass. You see that? The face in the glass?
Top and bottom.
Like in the middle pane. Middle from the bottom. You see that face looking thing? It's not really a face, it just looks like it.
A little bit.
It's itching me head. It's creepy. It's the face in the glass. You see that? The face in the glass?
Top and bottom.
Like in the middle pane. Middle from the bottom. You see that face looking thing? It's not really a face, it just looks like it.
A little bit.
Okay, so with that last clip, I will break it down a little bit, but I can keep hearing a like that kind of thing. And also I hear a Sam in the background, which is really quite cool, hearing your own name. But I'll break it down a bit and play it for you a few more times and see what you hear. As I like to say, I don't think I'm hallucinating because that would be really embarrassing, but like I can hear it enough that yeah, I only ever play things that I know like I can hear on multiple different speakers too. So I'll play it on like a normal speaker, my headphones, and do all different stuff. So I'll play them for you a few more times and break it down a smidge, see what you get. It's itching me head. It's creepy. It's the face in the glass. You see that? The face in the glass?
Top and bottom.
Like in the middle pane. Middle from the bottom. You see that face looking thing? It's not really a face, it just looks like it.
A little bit.
It's itching me head. It's itching me head. It's itching me head. It's creepy. It's the face in the glass. You see that? The face. The face. The face. The face in the glass.
Top and bottom.
Like in the middle pane. Middle from the bottom. You see that face looking thing? It's not really a face, it just looks like it.
A little bit.
Fucking finger. Yeah. Fucking finger. Yeah. Fucking finger. Yeah. Finger. Yeah. Finger. Yeah. Finger. Yeah. Yeah, so like I don't really know if it's like a good thing, but clearly the spirits like to have a bit of fun with me. Because I'm like, oh my finger, oh my God. That kind of thing. And then you hear a, oh my God, my finger. Like they're making fun of me. And I'm like, righto. Fuck, I can't win in the life or the afterlife. But cheeky buggers. But anyway, I'll play it for a couple more times. Finger. Yeah. Finger. Yeah. Finger. Yeah. Yes, okay. Sorry. We'll just do a quick walk through and we'll go, okay? Did you hear that? Yes, okay. Sorry. We'll just do a quick walk through and we'll go, okay? Did you hear that? Okay, so in the last EVP for this episode, or the last recording for this episode, that one, there's a fair bit going on. I hear a hiss, like a kind of thing, and then you can actually hear my heart beating of how scared I was at that moment in the staff quarters, because you've got no idea unless you go there and you are alone in that building, or semi-alone. Doesn't even, you have to be fully alone. If you are like you and yourself, or like you and yourself, what the fuck? You and someone else are just alone on one floor. There's no one else around. It's heavy. Like it's like you've got 20 people around you just wanting to aggravate, and hence the hissing and the whatever else. And yeah, it's wild. Like I can't even fully explain my emotions or how I was feeling, but you can hear my heart beating in the recording from my iPhone. That is how truly scared I felt. I actually did feel scared, and I hate to admit that I feel scared because, like, who the hell ever wants to admit they feel scared, you know? And like, because I do this and I love this, like, this is what I do, and I hate being like, holy fuck, like, I'm actually. There's been a few times in my life where I've actually been like terrified. Um, and of course, knowing me, I'm like, no, I'll stick around and see what happens. But the fact you could hear my heart beating through my phone, and I don't even think don't have my phone up to my chest. I had it out, like my hand was out. Because I would never do that because it would be it muffles too much sound. But you can hear my heart beating. There was a hiss at the start, and then before I turn it off, there's another hiss. So obviously, there's something. Look, and I never like to talk about places and say, you know, you might have heard like an earlier episode talking about demons and bullshit like that. And I'm not saying they don't exist or whatnot at all. And I'm not saying that that was a fucking demon or anything like that. There's no, like, fuck no. Like, as if the chances of like coming across that sort of shit is like next to none. But whatever it was or whoever it was wanted me to feel scared. And I'm guaranteeing it was probably because they didn't want me in their area and I was intruding. I was probably the problem. It wasn't because, oh, you know, they're probably like kind of thing, hissing or whatever. That ain't no demon. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, if any of you guys listened to some earlier podcasts of mine, which I'm sure you all have, about me thinking that I had all this other stuff, I was misled by a couple of people in the industry that I don't really agree with right now, but that it's not their fault whatsoever. It's not their fault. It's just the learning and engaging within this industry about what's what and what, you know, you always got to trust yourself and what you feel. And the main reason why I never wanted to go back to Aradale was honestly because I thought that I had an attachment from that institution that it turned out later on that yeah, your little Sammy was led up a garden path. So, but not for, you know, the fault of anyone else. It wasn't their fault. They weren't doing it on purpose, but just people being very not aware and underestimating. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. And I thank those people that I used to collaborate with a lot. I part of me misses a lot of them as well because we had so much fun. We had a ball, but I think in the end our differences just grew too much. And yeah, do I believe I had an attachment for Aradale? No, not necessarily now, at all, really. If there was anyone with me, I think it was a very positive thing that was actually trying to steer me away from something that could have been really potentially negative. So, on reflection, and I'm sorry, this is going to sound like I'm rambling, but if anyone's listened to my previous stuff, you know, about me visiting certain places and being interviewed or interviewing other people, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying those people were wrong whatsoever. Like, I'm not bad mouthing them. I think that they're personally great people and I miss them a lot in my life, actually. But um, I think I was personally misled by, you know, kind of like the blind leading the blind. I hate to use that saying, but it was like that. Um, in my heart of hearts, and I've been back to Aradale now twice since I had that whole entire thing happen a few years ago, that was really blown out of proportion and that was really frightening for me, being told that, you know, you basically had a fucking demon that was attached to you or a really bad, like, it sounds so stupid right now for me to say this out loud. Like, I feel really stupid. Um, but I don't know what else I can say. Like, you know, but this has been my spiritual and paranormal journey, you know, and I've got a completely different view on spirituality and spirits and all that sort of stuff now. And I'm not saying don't use protection, don't protect yourself. Of course, do all that sort of stuff, do everything. But there was a lot of fantastical things going on with the people that I was hanging around with at the time. And at the time, it felt really real. And I think it was really playing on my anxiety that I was experiencing every day as like a human being, rather than it being, and my actual lifeline, my life problems were playing out with that, because the minute that I'd kind of cut those negative kind of things in my life is the minute everything stopped, and like there's been nothing else. And I've gone to every other place you can think of. I've gone back to Aradale, gone back to Beachworth, I've gone everywhere, and not one time did I feel like anything was following me home. Not once. Like, of course, do your protection, use your crystals, do the same, do all that sort of stuff, because I still do. But at the same time, yeah, trust your instincts with stuff. Like, if you really don't, I don't know. And I really don't want to badmouth these people, because I actually, as I said, I really genuinely actually miss their friendship that I had with them at the time. And it wasn't them that had said bad stuff. I think it was all just everyone getting cooped up in some crazy fanatical bullshit that's, yeah, we all should have stopped watching horror movies a little while ago, don't you reckon? But yeah. The spirit world is amazing, but it's not harmful. I really honestly don't believe it's harmful. Obviously, if you mess with dark shit, you're going to get dark stuff back. But at the end of the day, we're responsible for our own actions and who we are as people, our decision making, how we feel. And I don't mean like if you've got clinical depression or you're diagnosed, that's your responsibility. That's what it kind of is, actually, because you've got responsibility to then seek treatment or to then, whatever. It's not saying you're at fault, but you have a responsibility on yourself to feel, to do things to make yourself feel better. And I'm saying this because I've experienced this, and I'm not saying, since starting this podcast, it's been a massive, massive learning curve for me. In some of the hardest and saddest ways, but also the best way possible. And I thank everyone I've ever collaborated with, ever. But yeah, because it's led me to the path that I'm at now, and I've got so much more clarity in things. And I'm not saying that anything that, they've said or what I've said's been incorrect at all. But yeah, the paranormal field's a complex world, my friends. So all I say, anyone entering into it, just be careful, and not of the people, but of the things that people think that they're picking up on. Always please be curious, and always be skeptic. Please be skeptical. Skepticism, they say in the paranormal field's like not a great thing or whatever, but being skeptic is actually, it's a savior tool, because it gets you to think also with your logical mind rather than just what you want to believe at the time. And anything I ever put on my podcast is purely because I cannot explain it. And if I ever put anything up and I'm like, oh, fuck, actually, oopsies, that was actually that person. Crap, I would say it like 100%. I listen to my recordings so much so I do not fuck up and mislead people. But yeah, I don't know how other people in this field work. I'm really interested in meeting a lot more of you if you guys want to. I'm really open. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I thank everyone that I have previously collaborated with. But yeah, I think that paranormal and anything spiritual is just up for fucking debate. What you think could be true, what I think could be true, what that other person over there could be true, who knows? I think that's why there's such a plethora. And I never want to sit here and say whatever the hell the other person's saying is bullshit or whatever, because if that's real to them, then that's real to them. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to these EVPs and some people are like, I can't even hear anything. I'm like, how could you not hear that distinct voice? And I'm like, well, I'm not psychotic. Like, I work in the industry. I know what I hear and what I don't, but everyone else has got different sensations, different body feelings, and, they pick up different senses and they pick up different everything. So who's to say everybody is not correct? But yeah, it's been lovely for me to go back to Aradale after I thought that place was basically, after I was kind of, for a long time, I was led to think that the place was not great, even though I'd been there many times and I felt I loved it, and I've been there twice since, and it's been great. And there's no demonic attachments. There's no there's no nothing. Actually, I have a really nice spiritual attachment to the place, which is lovely. But yeah, sorry, I don't mean to bang on at the end, but I just know if people are binging anything and they might hear a bit of inconsistency, I just wanted to clarify that. And I also wanted to say thank you to, two people that I have collaborated with in the past who I do miss dearly. But I think the views on what we do is just a slightly bit different, which that's okay and that's life. But it doesn't mean that I'd think any less of them, to be honest. But yeah. Anyway, I think that'll tie us up for Aradale Revisited Part 2. There will be a Part 3, and I'm currently busily working on... Busily, is that a word? Working on my Beechworth episode, which I did an amazing private tour with Date Night with the Ghost Gang and also Beyond the Veil. So hello, it was so much fun, absolutely amazing. We're constantly in contact. We're talking about everything we've found. We've got some crazy EVPs, amazing experiences. I bitched out early because of the intensity of the joint, but like, which I never have, but it's going to be cool. There's so much awesome stuff that I look forward to bringing you. And yeah, I just give a lot of love and thanks to everybody at the moment. I don't know. What is it? Australia Day? It's Australia Day. So just feel like giving love to my Aussie friends or past collaborators, whatever. But yeah. I hope you guys had a great episode and have a great and safe week. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.